So the job today is to try to get some parts of this mess here in place of that mess there. This is the right rear knuckle on a 2001 Volvo XC70. And, you know, a lot of the car seems to be in really good shape, but some of it's not. I bought it as a beater for my daughter to learn to drive with, and it's had a few issues. What happened, the reason I had to buy the whole knuckle, you see this piece right here? This is part of the casting back there. And up here, if you look closely, see if I can zoom in there, you will see that piece is missing. It's supposed to be right there. And here it is. And what happened was the whole parking brake grenaded on me as I was rolling down the road, and there was a tremendous lot of noise, and then just a little like sand in the gears kind of sound after that. It all happened so fast, there was no way I could, you know, do anything. But yeah, I got it home and found out what had happened, and I basically just took all the pieces and parts of the emergency brake that were rattling around inside there out, and just ran the car for a while with no emergency or parking brake. I think it's a misnomer to call these emergency brakes. Nobody grabs them in an emergency brake in an emergency situation. So inspection time rolled around, and I can't get away with that anymore. So I got to see what I can do about getting this assembly out. One of the challenges is going to be, I was hoping to be able to use this sheet metal shield off of the replacement part that I bought off eBay, but they didn't take any care to preserve this piece when they disassembled it. Let's see if you can see down here. Yeah, this one is mangled. Looks like they were prying all around it. One thing I am, you know, and they didn't promise that piece would be good. One thing I am a little pissed about, though, this bearing, you can see they dinged it up pretty good too, so this is no longer any good. And this was supposed to have been part of the assembly I was buying. It's off the eBay, like I said. It's Euroline Auto Dismantler, and that's what I bought. Now, I still can't complain too much because this piece here, bought new, is like 450 bucks. So I got this assembly for 50 bucks, 55 with taxes, you know, and all that kind of crap. But I can't complain too much. But I would really wish they hadn't, you know, needlessly banged this up. So I'm going to find out what I can do to, between this one and that one, have a good part. And there may be some welding involved, and we'll figure that out. I could not do anything about welding this piece back in because it's aluminum, and I don't have any knowledge of how to do aluminum. So anyway, now the fun part is going to be trying to figure out how to get this dismantled, because no one on YouTube is doing this exact job that I can find. But I did find a guy who was replacing, I don't know if it was this bushing or this one or both, but in order to do that, what he did was he dropped the whole rear diff, because this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, and I don't know why he had to do that, unless you had to do that in order to pull the spline out back here. I'm not sure. And to get the rear diff out, he had to drop the exhaust off, and that's a pretty big involved thing. And I'm just kind of hoping that I can figure out how to get around not doing that. It has 1, 2, should have four attachment points. And I'm hoping that I will be able to loosen those and get it up. But first I'm going to go ahead and dismantle, get it down to the knuckle itself. I want to try to preserve this bearing here. I know that since I do have it apart, you might say, well, why don't you just go ahead and replace the bearing while you got it apart? Reason being, this car has so many issues. I don't want to put a lot of money into it right now. I want to see if this fixes this problem and address some other problems, and then worry about other things later. So, right now I'm into it for $50 more than my purchase price. So we'll see how far this goes. First thing I will do, well, I'm going to dismantle the donor part, get all those brake components off of it. I'm really happy. That is one thing. Like I said, I sure would have loved to have gotten this metal shield in one piece, and I didn't. But at least all these brake components, they left them in here because all that stuff is mangled beyond use from the old one. So that's actually valuable to me. I'm sure that would have cost me another $100 or more to, hunt down all that crap. So, hoping I'll make out okay here. We shall see. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dismantle the brakes, save all those pieces to the side, get this hub assembly out of here, and then when I have it down to just the knuckle, then start doing the same thing. Hopefully I'll learn a few things, and then I'll apply that to dismantling this one down to just the knuckle. Then I'll try to get the knuckle off of the car. Alright, this is as much from my own memory as anything, but okay. If you think of this as like a Pac-Man, it's going to the front of the car. Here's my missing casting piece. I'm not going to do a lot of explaining how to do this because I don't know that well. There is a series of videos put together by a car part seller that I'll link, but they do these brakes, and they did a really good job of demonstrating. So I'm just following their lead as best I can. But I do know that fishing this out of there was a pain in the butt even for the pro. Actually, I think it's supposed to come out fairly easy. It's getting it back in right. It's a pain in the butt. If I knew exactly which way it was hooking, it would help. Seems like it's part of the way up now. Get my flashlight. Oh yeah, I can see now. Yeah, so it can be like that. Just to go down. Not like that. There we go. Sweet. I got rid of all my junk parts. Okay, so both of these hooked towards the front. There we go. Small spring to the front and the big one to the back, which makes sense because that's where the actual adjustment mechanism is. This little divider pops out of here. See if there's any telltale to it and its orientation. Doesn't matter. I believe that it's symmetrical. Looks like you can go back either way. Hey, it's coming. Well, damn, I got lucky. It wasn't half as bad as I thought it was going to be. Well, there we go. Here's my $450 part. Alright, so to get this hub off, I need to knock these, excuse me, yeah, there we go. Need to knock these bolts from the back here. First I'm going to get rid of that ABS. This right here. So I need to knock out this, and then this thing should be able to lift out and be moved to the side. And then I'll be going after this bolt, one you can't see over here, and then two down the bottom. Alright, I got to do an overdub here because I had some music going in the background. What I'm showing is that the top two bolts here came out easily, and then this one down here came out okay, and then this one was a real pain in the butt. And the way I figured, I saw another guy on YouTube. He said, hey, go ahead and knock off this strut assembly back here. That allows the swing arm to come up, and that gives you just barely enough access to that bolt head back there, to that, where you can get like 1/8 of a turn at a time on it, and that's what I did. Alrighty, we're going to try a little rental tool action here. And it worked. Beauty. Now, need to get the thing off the spline. But, hey, hard part's done. Woohoo! And there we go. So the last little bolt that's giving grief is the one that comes through this side. This is a welded nut. So this bolt you have to grab from this side. And it's actually turning quite freely in the nut. The problem is it's binding up inside of the bushing in there. And since it's a rubbery, it's an elastic situation, the impact wrench is useless, because the impact wrench just goes and doesn't make any progress whatsoever. So it is. I had my great big old breaker bar out and got it started, and now it's just been slowly getting backed out of there. This thing shouldn't be under any huge tension or anything, because I mean the spring's undone. You know, I'm not expecting anything to go ping when the bolt comes out, but I'll try to make sure I don't have any parts in the way, just in case. It's just resting right now on this jack stand to enable me to lever against it. I guess I'm now going to have to try to get a, yeah, I think I'm all the way done with that nut. I'm going to have to drive it now. Jeez. Man, this has not been easy. Yeah, so it's actually pushed that metal away, and the bolt is staying captured inside there. And just doesn't want to come out. So, got to figure something out here. Not sure what I'm going to do. I had any way to get up under there and just start prying that thing out of the wood. Looks like I might have a little bit of gap to get something in there. I'll come back. Finally, my two parts side by side. Old broken one, new whole one. What fought me in the end was this. The bushing was coming apart inside. The bolt was actually fused inside of this inner race for the bushing, and the only way I was able to get it unstuck was I was actually able to get these guys up in there, grab a hold of that, and then hit it with the air hammer, and it finally unfused itself, and then it was banging with the brass drift, and it finally came out. So, all good. Alright, so that, with the broken chunk here, has been replaced by that. I cannot remember where I was last time I videoed. Just got distracted by other things. So, got that in place, and the next step is... Alright, so here's my dust shield situation. Over here we have the original, and this is the damage that was incurred when the whole parking brake went grenade on me while I was driving. This is the dust shield that came with the Knuckle that I bought used. I'm going to start with trying to repair this. So I'm going to get in there, and through here is actually kind of like a rivet. And pop that out. Clean all the metal down to bare. Get some emery cloth up underneath it here. Try to clean everything preparatory to trying to get a weld on there later. And then just start trying to form this back into shape and seeing what I can get to and how well I can make it go back the way it's supposed to be. Quick safety note. So I need to clean this up, right? And it's a brake piece. It's a dust shield from a brake. You might want to hit it with brake cleaner, right? No, because we're going to be welding on this. I don't know what chemicals are produced when you weld over top of brake cleaner residue, but they're supposed to kill you. So I will not be using any brake cleaner to clean this. Alrighty, I got in there as much as I could and try to get down to bare metal wherever I thought I might be trying to get a weld working. So, time to try to beat that into place. Alright, typical Rick welding job, not the prettiest, but I believe I got everything back in line with the way it's supposed to be. And I think she's as solid as the original, so I think I'm going to run with it. And throw some paint on it probably, and see you at the car. I noticed when I went to put the gasket back on that I had a little bit of a weld dimple right there, and then just a little knot flatness, out of flat, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, and this is actually the surface that is the bearing surface, whatever you want to call it. So I did a little more touch-up and cleaning here, but everything else seems to be good and flat. Hey, kind of looks like it belongs there. Alright, I just gotta remember how to put all this back together again. I hate the old style brakes with all the springs and everything, but that's what the parking brake is on this. Even though it's a combination disc for the actual braking, and then a drum for the park brake. Alright, I believe that's the way it's supposed to go. Getting these little springs back in was made a little bit easier by this tool. I don't know what it's actually made for. Maybe something like this, but it's just a specialty tool that used to belong to my dad. I had it kicking around in the brakes drawer, and that worked pretty well for pressing down and then turning to catch the little lips back there. And this is the one that is inserted into my my weld job up there, and it seems to be okay. So next I'll be reinstalling the hub assembly. I may have already mentioned this, but I'm going to reuse the old one for now because this car just it has enough issues that I just don't want to put a lot of money into it. We'll see once I get this job fixed how other things go. So I'm going to apply some of this Loctite anti-seize to the mating surface here, because I have a steel part meeting an aluminum part, and you get galvanic corrosion. So this stuff is supposed to be good for that, up to like 1600 degrees. So I think it'll be alright in this application. Oh, there should be all put back together. I'm a little concerned about the fact that I'm still getting a lot. This is not from the disc brake. This noise. Do it again. Hang on. That's from that parking brake rubbing. And I kind of think that's what happened last time. I thought it was stuck in the open position. But, and then it heated up, and that caused everything to fail. I don't know what's to do. I don't have the cable. That's my last thing I have to fix is the cable. But with no tension on, if the cable pulls, that expands the brakes. It should be completely contracted right now. So I'm going to test drive it a little bit, but yeah, I am really concerned this whole thing could happen all over again. Not really sure what to do about that, but she is back together for now. And I've disassembled this several times and tried moving that whole brake assembly around and making sure everything was as tight and snug as it could be. And yeah, I'm out of Schlitz, so I have no idea how to make that stop.